All right, so we had our client. They are connected to a switch. I'll normally just put an S. And then we had a server up here. Oh wait, oops, I messed that up. Sorry. Forgot my other switch. You guys need to watch me. Okay, they're connected there. All right. So remember, I had another client here, and we have this understanding, hopefully, that there's lots of other people connected here. These lines are called access lines. Okay? So access line is your first connection. Okay? That's your access line. The lines between, or that connect switches, is called a trunk line. This will connect switches. The one that connects the router is the same way. That's also a trunk line. So that would be a trunk line too. Okay. So an access line, again, this is your first connection. This one is not shared. So if I have something to send, I'm going to send my lovely messages along. Those are great messages. They need to go down into here. And then they need to come out up here. Right? That's very lovely. Okay? So the access line, this is like my driveway. So the driveway at my house is my driveway. No one else gets to use it. So the access line to your computer is not shared. Okay? If we talk about this other connection, and this person is also might want to be sending things, we can see that there are places where they are sharing their capacity. Okay, so we use shared capacity there. Shared trunk line, there you go. So we share our capacity on a trunk line. This means it's done what's called multiplexing. Okay, multiplexing is basically the method for keeping individual conversations apart. Okay, I'm not going to get too much into this right now. This one would be the one I've drawn. It would be a time division multiplexing. That is, the different conversations are by different moments in time. Sometimes they do it by different channels. And so I might have frequency division multiplexing where one person is on one channel and another person is on another channel. Normally time division multiplexing is what you use. You've experienced this when you use your cell phone. If you and your friend are both, for example, on AT&T, so I'll draw my cell phones over here. You are both going to be sending out radio waves, okay? But the way they make sure your radio waves don't munch over each other is you each are given a certain slot of time to talk. Isn't that fun? Because if you talked at the same time, or if both your cell phones sent at the same time, the signals would mash together and interfere with each other. You all have heard about jamming and things like that, okay? So anyway, that's multiplexing. And again here, so over here on an access line, that's only for me. Once our conversations get onto a trunk line, they need to be mixed together. And that's called multiplexing. Right? One other note about a trunk line is you need to think of it as if it was literally a trunk. Okay? So here's where the term comes from. From the old days when you had your phone, I'm really good at drawing these phones. Look at that. Man, that is an awesome phone. Put dot. Oops, I should have just drawn dots. Okay, so I got a phone line here. What came out of here is 2 wires. Okay? Then it would go up onto your telephone pole outside, and eventually all of these would come down into a little box in your neighborhood. The box is green. Luckily I have a green thing here. It's a lovely green box in your neighborhood. Okay? So a whole bunch of these wires from all over your neighborhood would come down into here. So this is in the neighborhood. And if you look around your neighborhood, you'll see one of these probably. Coming from your neighborhood and going to the office. Does that look like a high-rise building? So coming to the big office, all of those lines went together in a huge cable. And the cable was so big and fat that it looked like an elephant's trunk. Okay? So a trunk is where we have, again, there's multiple conversations going on in here, right? So that's what a trunk line is. And of course nowadays trunk lines aren't a big old fat bunch of cables, right? A trunk line here, like what do you think this one would be? Yeah, there you go. See, you guys know it's a fancy fiber optic cable. And what happens is this cable can transmit so fast that it can divide up its time and put multiple conversations within the same cable. So even though each person has 1 wire coming in, this fiber optic cable is so much higher capacity than these that you could maybe fit 10 conversations in there at the same time. That's awesome. All right, so that's multiplexing.